Welcome to DC Music Rocks. The Washington, D.C. region has one of the best local music scenes in the country. We're shining a spotlight on its great songs and incredible people. Tune in, jam on, rock out.
I'm your host, Brian Nelson Palmer, and with me today is the Sidleys. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
How you doing?
God, it's such a treat to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, I've been following you guys for a while, but if they don't know you, how would you describe the Sidleys?
So maybe you could say we were indie rock with soul influence to it.
Ooh, sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
And are you, the Sidleys let's just go ahead and spoil the surprise. It's a family.
It is a family. There are 5 Sidleys.
Wow.
The maximum. That is the maximum of Sidleys.
Yeah. It seems like there's a hashtag or a rating. I don't know. How good is that show? It rates 5 Sidleys.
It's a category 5. Watch out. You're going to have to evacuate.
It's a category 5 Sidley show.
Yeah.
Look out. Oh, gosh. And now, if they've never heard your music, then what are 3 big name artists you guys have been compared to that they might have heard of if they haven't heard of you?
So most recently, someone compared us to Lake Street Dive.
Oh.
And
I would say that's pretty close.
we've heard Amy
Yeah.
Winehouse.
Mm-hmm.
Who have you heard lately that someone's compared us to?
Well, they say my voice sounds a little like Christina Aguilera.
What?
I get that. I get
that
that
is
a lot.
just sassy.
I know.
like
It's
it.
pretty
Ooh.
sassy pants.
Where you're
No one
gonna-
says that
know.
about me.
I know.
And now, which Sidleys? You should introduce yourselves too. Who are you here on the show with me? Which Sidleys are you?
I'm Annie Sidley.
I am Steve Sidley.
And Steve Sidley. And then the other 3 Sidleys that aren't here are
Sean Sidley. Colin Sidley. Ian, wait for it, Sidley.
Nice.
That's right.
And you guys, and you are the parents, and those are the kids, right?
Yes.
God, it's so cool.
Pretty crazy.
Like, this is one of those, I feel like the Brady Bunch pales in comparison to the Sidleys.
Oh,
This is
absolutely.
it's so good.
It's more like the Partridge Family, but without Rib and Kincaid or the bus.
Right. Right.
Oh, I love it. All right. On our show today, we're going to start with the news from the DC music scene. Then we're going to have great music by DC artists to share with you. And of course, a very special interview with these 2 here on the show. We'll talk about the Sidleys. 3 quick reminders as we get started. 1, subscribe to the DC Music Rocks podcast. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button in your podcast app, and don't be afraid of the commitment. Let's make this relationship official. I'd love that.
Yeah.
2, tell a friend who likes music about us. Every one of our thousands of followers found us this way. So even just one friend, one person, pretty please share us with them. We would really love that. And then the 3rd thing is sign up for the email list. Every week we're finding and sharing all these great shows, this news, these guests, and this great music. Let us email it to you so you don't have to go looking for all this stuff. So first, let's jump into the news. First up, it's the holiday season, and I'm sharing this news because I have a playlist for you. Me and Chris Noem over at Listen Local First in Washington, D.C. created a 4-hour playlist of holiday songs that you haven't already heard thousands of times throughout your life. It's all from DC artists, and man, it's good. I've been streaming it a lot. And so if you're looking for that kind of stuff or you want that holiday spirit, in your episode notes, you've got the link to that particular, that playlist. So please do enjoy those tracks, and I hope you'll let those artists bring you into the holiday spirit.
Nice.
You know?
Awesome.
Now, next up is new releases. So remember, these are available right now wherever you get your music online. And in your episode notes, there's links to their profiles, which at the bottom have their iTunes and Spotify links so you can listen. And then, of course, their website and Facebook for more information about these artists. So first up, Eli Lev released Way Out West. This is a 5-song indie EP that he's recommended if you like Tom Petty, Mumford & Sons, Johnny Cash, Ben Harper, or the Lumineers. You might love Eli Lev. Check out that 5-song album, Way Out West. Just dropped this week. Next up is Denmate. Denmate released Denmate on Audio Tree Live. So this is a 6-song live album that they did, and they're recommended if you like the Yeah Yeah Yeahs or Portishead. You might love Denmate. Check them out. Next is DeFlame. DeFlame released God Answers Prayers. I remember one of her singles came out, and DeFlame used to be a big reggae artist and now has turned into more of a faith-based kind of music, but oh my goodness, she's got a voice. So it's a 14-song full album. Check that one out from DeFlame. And then last is Leo and Cygnus released Sagittari, I think is how you say it. there's a funky spelling. It's in your episode notes. Take a look. How would you say that word? I don't know how I would say. How would you say that
I'm going
word?
to say Sagittarian. Maybe it's
Yeah.
the plural of Sagittarius.
Right. True. That would be an interesting reference
That's
to
that time
days
of
gone
year.
by.
It's
It
a
is.
You know, so
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're
I
a
like it.
Sagittarius?
I am.
It's
We
five
don't know what
song.
it means, but we go with it.
It's the plural.
It's the sign that
it's
no one
when
can
multiple
explain.
Sagittariuses get together.
Yeah.
It's called Sagittari.
It's like octopus,
Or Terry.
octopi.
Right?
I was just going to say that.
Fascinating.
Stealing all my
It's
words.
like you guys are married or something. You've known each other for years. I love it. And anyway, by the way, that is a 5-song indie album, and they're recommended if you like Fleetwood Mac. You really love Leo and Cygnus. So check that one out. And then one music video that I want to share came out this week. Brave Like Us released Odyssey. They just did they were a guest on the show a few 2-3 months ago, and they also shared that they were going on a cross country RV trip where they were going to tour across the country and play all over the country. And so they took footage and made a music video to one of their songs. And so that came out. So that link is in your episode notes. So I hope you check that one out along with those new releases. Now, first, I've been going through new releases. Of those new releases, which one of those would be kind of more your speed?
I
What
don't
do you
know.
think, Steve?
I like every kind of music. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I know Eli. I love his music.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the reggae sounds great. And Fleetwood Mac, I mean, everyone's always like, oh, you guys are like Fleetwood Mac.
And
'cause you're-
Portishead,
yeah.
And Maiden.
So-
that sounds,
Yeah.
it all sounds great. We do. We listen to everything.
Yeah. So.
That's awesome.
Anything good.
I love it. And speaking of listening to anything, if they want to listen to you guys, what's the latest release you guys have released that you're promoting lately?
Our most recent album was The Love You Make, which came out in 2017, and you can find it at Sidleys.com is our website. And
It's on everything. It's on iTunes,
Or all your
Spotify.
platforms, wherever you get
yeah,
it. So look up the
yeah.
Sidleys, Sidleys, the Sidleys.
Right.
we might even hear some today.
I was going to say, we might even play you a song. If they've tuned in at all, that's not a spoiler alert. They know
Right,
we're definitely going to play you a song for sure. So that's the latest new releases. And then let's take a moment to talk about shows. What shows are you going to go see this week? Research shows that it reduces stress and makes you happy. And right now, check your episode notes to see our hot shows list for the coming few weeks. You'll also find the link to our local music calendar, which is the only place online you can find exclusively where DC's own talent is playing in a 50-mile driving radius around DC. So the link's in your episode notes there. Check that one out. And speaking of upcoming shows, talk to me, Sidleys. What's happening?
We're so excited about this Friday.
Yeah,
we're
Friday, December 21st.
back at December 21st.
Yep.
Thank you.
And we're
We're going to be at Villain and Saint.
In
and-
Bethesda,
in
Maryland.
Bethesda,
very
Maryland.
good.
Right there on Wisconsin Avenue. You can't
Yep.
miss it.
I'll say not far from the metro. That one's easy to get
Our
to.
home
in all
away
the
from
ways.
home. We're there about 3 or 4 times a year. We love it.
And we were talking about the rating scale on how many Sidleys. Is this one rate a 5 Sidley
It's
show?
a category
Oh, yeah.
5.
It's a
back
category
down the
5?
category.
Oh, God,
5,
it's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So all the kids and you guys
Yep.
were playing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
That is, it's almost like, it's like the holidays. So everybody's home for Christmas and then that's going
that's
to
why we-
happen.
That's
Chose
how
that date.
So like
Oh,
the
it's so
summer and
good.
We
winter.
were
there's
hoping to
more.
get all of their college friends to come as well. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
it's a
Reaching
very
out to
mixed
it.
crowd. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I like.
All
It's very
ages.
diverse.
Yeah.
All ages. We're doing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So check that one out coming up. That's December 21st. Or, of course, check out their music online because, oh my goodness, I'm going to play one for you later, but I've been loving it.
Thank you.
All right. Now, let's jump into some music because we've been talking a little bit. So for our first track of the day, I'm going to share one with you. I love sharing new artists I haven't shared with you ever before on the show. I do every week, and this one is Mark Rogers, and the track is called No Bigger Fool.
DC Music rocks. Great jams to hear by artists from here.
Second time around the yard, and your heart is on the mend. What you thought would be so hard is coming to an end. Does it really seem so strange to give love a try? There's no bigger fool than I. Take these pages from the books and throw them in the air. Tell these first and second looks that you really couldn't care. There are places you can go, and anyone to tell you why. There's no bigger fool than I. All this misery and pain, you know it's hard to understand. Seems the tighter that you squeeze, the more it slips right through your hand. There's a story to be told. It's a cautionary tale. If there is someone you can hold, you know you really couldn't fail. At least that's what I told myself as I fell out of the sky. There's no bigger fool than I. There are places you can go, and anyone to tell you why. There's no bigger fool than I. No bigger fool than I.
The sounds of Mark Rogers, and the track is No Bigger Fool. And that's off his album, which is called Qualifiers. That's his latest release. He just released that in 2018. In the summer of 2018, it came out. So he's recommended if you like Dawes, Wilco, Elvis Costello, or Jackson Browne, you might love this guy and his collection. And he's been around for a long time in the season. In the region. I meant to say region, and I was thinking season. That was amazing.
It's the time of the
He's a
season.
seasoned regional artist.
There you go.
Yeah, so good. All right. He's been all over Capitol Hill. AU Park, Adams Morgan, Vienna. He's lived all over the area. And he actually, interesting fact about him, he played in the first band ever to play the Birchmere. In 1973, that was at age 15 for him. And of course, he's played on the main stage at Wolf Trap, and he's been around for 30 years on and off, played most of the venues around town, and he plays fairly regularly all over Virginia and the region, the whole DMV region. Sometimes he's out in Dewey Beach. He's all over the place. So if you follow this guy, there's all kinds of things happening with him. And if you like that kind of music and you like that vibe, I hope you check out more from him, because there's so much. I've been listening to him all week, getting prepared for this episode, and I've really been enjoying it. So please check out more from Mark Rogers. If you click on his name in your episode notes, it'll take you right to his profile so you can read all about him and find out and follow him like you need to.
Yeah.
All right. So I have the Sidleys with me, and my favorite way to introduce the artist is to, especially if they're a musical artist, my favorite way to introduce them is to play their music. So this is the Sidleys, and this is a Category 5 Sidley song. This is all the Sidleys.
This is all the Sidleys.
This is all the Sidleys, and the track is... It's off the album The Love You Make, for that 2017 album you were just talking about. This is called Signs.
DC Music rocks.
Standing on
That was the song Signs by the Sidleys, and that's off the album The Love You Make. And holy smokes, guys, I just love it. Between the harmonies and just, it's like, it's good music and it's good harmonies and it makes you feel good. And I remember Haley Fahey came on the show and she was talking about the Sidleys, and I had never heard of the Sidleys. And I am so grateful that she introduced me to the Sidleys because, oh my goodness, I've been following for a while. So now that was the song Signs. What's the story behind the song Signs?
It's really about people who just, they can have all these blessings and not recognize them. So it's like gold falling from the sky, but then you put up your umbrella because, hey, it's raining, but you don't realize what it is. And it's, it's a little deeper than this,
Yeah.
So yeah, just the idea of just, if you have gratitude and you look for those things that are good in your life, you sort of multiply that as opposed to, you can have all of these great things, but if you don't appreciate it or enjoy it, it's like it doesn't really matter.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I think
it's not about
so,
anyone in particular.
I mean, there's always I heard the phrase. It's called the hedonic treadmill. I don't know if you've ever heard that. I can't remember what book I was reading. That I read a lot. I was reading this in this book, and it talked about the hedonic treadmill, where there's always something more that you're looking for, and even when you achieve the goal, then it's on to the next thing and on to the next thing, and so it's just even all the blessings. You, like you said, you put up that umbrella and you just kind of ignore the gold falling from the sky because you're looking for something else.
Right.
Really true.
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing. Is just thinking you're going to be happy with that next thing, but the truth is, like, you have to be happy now, or else
absolutely
later.
You don't have the past or the future. You only have now.
Yeah, now.
It's big time. So, and let me give you a proper introduction here. So on DC Music Rocks, we're shining a spotlight on the great songs, artists, and incredible people behind the DC region's music scene. And the Sidleys have been busy performing at some of the most prestigious venues, festivals, and outdoor concert series up and down the East Coast. Combining their many talents as singers, songwriters, and multi-instrumentalists, the Sidleys are a family that is creating a rich musical tradition in the Washington, D.C. area. Annie and Steve, sitting here with me, along with their talented sons, Sean, Colin, and Ian Sidley, perform their own eclectic style of melodic, soul-influenced indie rock and shine together on stage with powerful voices, memorable songs, and precise musicianship. And if they haven't seen you on stage, what's it like to see you on stage when you play? Like, how would you describe a Sidley's show?
It's a very high energy affair.
Yeah, very high energy.
It really is. It's like everyone's, playing. We like to give every percent possible out when we're playing because we don't know any other way to do it.
We really don't. We don't know how
some
to
people are like,
hold
you guys
back.
are trying too hard. Like,
We
look,
don't
this
hold
is what
back
we
well.
got.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're silly. We're
we have
goofballs on stage. Well, we never know what we're going to say or do.
I never know what she's going to say.
I don't even know what I'm going to say.
This is true.
I didn't even know I was going to say that.
Yeah. Spontaneous excitement happening in the family here. Yeah. Okay, now you have to walk me through how the Sidleys became, like, you decided to record. I mean, there's a lot of steps that happened. When you were having kids, did you think, we're going to have enough kids to have a band? Like, how did this happen?
That's why I did it. No.
Well, people used to used to tease us when, we first, the kids were babies, they're like, oh, you're just growing your own little rhythm section, huh? We're like, no.
We'd laugh it off. Yeah,
that's a terrible idea.
They're not going to want to be musicians.
But then, all of them ended up getting into music. All of them ended up being great musicians.
Right.
And, somewhere around, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, just one at a time, started playing with us until it was like, hey, we're a whole band now.
The oldest one has been playing since he was a little baby. So we have pictures of him on drums. And
Playing
he
drums,
was a prodigy. Like he started really young. He could play. I mean, it was pretty crazy.
It was freaky.
Wow.
Little 2-year-old on drums, like killing it.
So wait a minute now. So which oldest and youngest then, which instruments came first? Tell their instruments and then what order they, like, it evolved in. What do you play? And then what do the kids play? What did they come along and start playing?
So I'm a multi-instrumentalist. So I've played keyboards and bass and different things. Now I'm playing guitar because it's simply the thing that, there isn't in our family. Like, we have a drummer and a bassist and a keyboardist. I'm like, well, the guitar slot's empty. So
there you go.
Right.
Jump on that guitar, Dad. Come on now. Let's do it. And Annie, what about you? You just singing, or you play guitar?
I play guitar,
Okay.
and I sing and write. Steve and I write all the music together. The boys are writing too, but they do a couple songs of their own with us from time to time.
Sure.
But I play a little bit of keyboards, very little.
Got it.
Steve
Okay.
is working on, giving me a little bit more as the boys have other gigs and I have to fill in all the
That's
little
right.
empty spots.
Ooh, yeah.
I know. I'm
That's
getting
right.
out of my comfort zone.
There
It's
it is.
exciting.
Oh my God, that's good. And then the kids, which one plays which?
Sean is the drummer.
Okay.
So he was the one
And
I was
he's-
talking
who's-
about.
is
that
he the
played-
oldest?
He's the
Yeah.
oldest.
Okay.
And he's the one that played very young.
Okay.
And then we've got Colin, who's the bass player. He also sings. He has a fantastic voice. Beautiful.
Sure.
And the youngest one is Ian. He plays keyboards and sings as well. It's great,
Got it.
great voice as
And
well.
he's been doing a lot of songwriting lately.
Yeah.
Nice.
And both Colin and Ian are very influenced by jazz, so they're they're
cool.
very
That explains
sophisticated.
part of the eclectic collection. If you listen to more of the Sidleys album discography and you go back and listen to some of the songs, I mean, some of your songs are a little funkier vibes, some are a little jazzy. It's not like a rinse and repeat kind of group where one song is going to be very different from another, but I really enjoy the way that they all kind of, it's still the Sidleys, but
Yeah.
it's a little different. And I
Yeah,
like it.
we'd like to, we're more in the vein of songwriters. I mean, we just write whatever comes up, no matter what genre it is.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we don't want to be stuck playing the same thing all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And now, is this a tradition that's been like you guys have been in the same house in Bethesda ever since the kids came along, and like it's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
very established in the region for
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
moved
pretty
into our
much.
house, I think, right, just less than a year before Sean was born. So
And then, what made you decide that you were going to go go into the studio and record these things and make a group called the Sidleys and like make it official as opposed to just playing for friends? Or like, when did that happen? How
Well,
did
we
that
should
happen?
talk about Ronnie Newmeyer because that's actually the reason why we got all the boys together. Ronnie Newmeyer has Newmeyer Flyer, and also
also
they do
part
the
of
band house
House
gigs.
gigs.
And he put together a show called Halloween Howl. And we decided I have students I teach voice.
Now,
And
if they've never heard Halloween Howl, what is that like a house concert or is that at a venue or what is that?
it's on
Yeah, it was
Halloween.
a Halloween
it's like,
show. We
it's-
did it at the Hamilton. We did it at Bethesda Blues and Jazz
Okay.
and a number of different places.
So we needed a band, and my students were singing. So
Okay.
we decided to get the boys involved, and that was actually their first show was at the Hamilton.
So you were the backup band for your singers?
Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And now, does that mean you also give vocal lessons? Or?
I do.
We
Okay.
both teach.
Yeah, we both teach.
I mean, you're a musician, you got a lot of jobs.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, there's
No, what are you talking about? That
Yeah.
doesn't
We don't
happen.
know.
Please.
Yeah.
All right. And so what do you teach? So Annie, you teach vocals and other things, or vocals
Well,
is your main?
I teach voice mainly, and then
Okay.
if my voice teachers and my voice students want to learn like ukulele or guitar or a little bit of piano, a little bit of theory, I'll help them out.
I
So
gotcha.
I'll give them lessons on show them the basics and stuff like that. So music,
Sure.
basically. You know.
And what about you, Steve? What's
I teach guitar, bass, piano, occasionally drums, but that's not really my best thing.
got it?
I give the drum students to Sean, who teaches
right.
drums.
Sean
And
teaches
so he's
drums. That's
better.
Do all the kids teach instruments too?
They
Or-
have taught. We've done summer camps and workshops and things for students where they have been involved. So yeah, they have indeed.
Wow. All right. Everybody's doing it.
So we did an album before The Love You Make, which was sort of our first album as the Sidleys Bittersweet, which was just Annie and I.
Right.
And I was
Okay.
basically playing all the instruments. And then, but then later that year, as the kids started playing with us, it was like, wait a minute. The next thing and when we did the next record, Love You Make, it was the first time we'd ever really recorded as a family. So it was pretty,
Yeah.
it was pretty
Wow.
exciting. It was also kind of like, well, how's this going to go? I mean, is this
Right,
going to
because
be
it was
easy
their
or not?
it was
And
their first
great.
time
Yeah,
playing in a
so-
studio.
Because, I mean, I'm remembering my family dynamics, and I didn't always get along with my little sister, and then with mom and dad, and then you put all those people
Yeah.
in a recording studio.
That's right.
And that would, I wouldn't have looked at that and thought, oh, this is going to be an endearing family moment. That is not how I see that playing out. I mean, did you fight like family, or did you actually get along, or how does the music change things?
Studio's in our house, so I mean, we could do it at our leisure too. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we have our moments.
But yeah, I mean, we like each other. We get along. We have fun. And I think, whereas a lot of people I know that are musicians, it's like they're kids, and them completely disagree on music.
Yeah.
Like, music is the thing that separates them.
Yeah.
For us, it's like, even when we've had a hard time getting along in other ways, we've always listened to music together. And
Right.
we'll play them stuff and they'll play us stuff. And it's really cool. And so, the musical, our music relationship has always been very, very easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It comes across that way from the outside. So that's why I'm excited to have you here so I can actually ask you that question because, families don't always get along. So it's kind of cool that music is the way that you guys do get along.
Yeah, it really is. It's
absolutely.
Sometimes when you're not sure what to say, just play something.
Right. And that's
I feel like that's a t-shirt for musicians.
Yeah, kinda.
When you're not sure what to say, just play something.
See? We want royalties
Somebody
on that.
put that on Amazon. Somebody
it.
put that on Amazon.
It's
That
right.
is
coffee
so
We
mug
get
funny.
credit.
waiting to happen.
Oh, goodness. I love it. And now, so talk about outside of music then. What are hobbies, you guys on the personal side, outside of music, what else do you guys do?
Well, I'm a chef.
Yeah.
I went to culinary school. So
Wow.
I went to l'Académie de Cuisine, which is now unfortunately gone, but learned a lot during that time. It was back in 95. Then I proceeded to get pregnant right after that.
Got it.
Graduation day, basically.
Okay.
But I did do a lot of personal chefing and catering and various jobs. And now I just don't have time for it because I'm too busy with students and playing music. So
Right.
all music, which is good.
It's amazing how lives evolve. And that's, look at you, chef to mom to vocal students to, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And what about you, Steve?
What about me? Outside of music, we do, we like to do things outside and hike and that kind of stuff. I do a lot of meditation. That's kind of a personal thing that I do.
No, when you say I do a lot of, does that mean you go take 30 minutes by yourself or 10 minutes every hour? Or what do you mean? Say more on that.
Well, it depends on the day. I mean, if it's a stressful day, it might be
long.
more.
Okay.
But yeah, so every day, like in the morning, I would do like 20 or 30 minutes and then little bits. And then, so for me, it's been very, very helpful, in terms of like we were talking before about kind of being in the present moment and not always chasing after the next thing all the time. It's like, if you're able to be present, then it's much easier to just relax and enjoy yourself as opposed to, oh, I got to do that thing or I'm not gonna.
Yeah. No, big time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now let's see. The other thing I definitely want to ask is talk about biggest success moment for the Sidleys so far. What comes to mind?
We have been lucky to play these great venues with the family.
2016.
Yeah. I mean, the Fillmore.
Oh, yeah. We played the Fillmore David Bowie tribute show for Bandhouse gigs, and our whole family played it.
Wow.
So we were one of the first full bands. Usually they stick a bunch of musicians.
It's a couple people together, but it was just the five of us, and it was like, oh,
and we got to play the Fillmore. So I think the boys are kind of getting it now as they're getting into their own careers. My first gig was the Hamilton Live.
Yeah, so it's sort of like, wait a minute. Yeah.
Hold on a second. Maybe mom and dad aren't so bad after all.
But yeah, it also probably gives you a jaundiced perspective of like, wait a minute, I played much better shows than this.
Right?
Because when you start off that, it's like, well,
I'll say it's hard. It's kind of hard to keep that level of prestige up when you really step into some other things or other acts that aren't quite as established.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The Fillmore, very good. And now talk funniest moment on stage. I mean, you guys have been playing together as a family. So what are the funny family moments that come to mind when you're thinking about performing together?
You got any, Steve?
Oh man. Well, it's sort of a moment that wasn't funny, but it's funnier now and will become much funnier in a few years down the road. But we had a show about a year ago, and there was some sort of disagreement. You were asking if the family gets along, and we do famously, except for one night, Sean was having a moment, and he just threw a drumstick at Ian, the keyboardist, and we're like, it was in the middle of the song, so we're like, what's going on?
What'd
and they're like, well, maybe it just slipped, but then there was a second one, and it was like, okay, so we had to take a break.
Yeah. And was that in the house or rehearsing, or was that actually on stage?
At a show.
Which has never ever happened.
Wow.
And we were just shocked, and then it was. It's funny now.
Yeah, now it's
right.
It wasn't funny. It was like, what is going on?
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was it?
Oh.
Women, man.
Yeah,
it's just women.
My son had just broken up with his girlfriend, and it was
it's one of those sensitive times.
Awful moments. He was feeling it.
Oh, goodness.
He was feeling the
Oh man, that's wild, guys. All right, my favorite question to ask on the show, and this goes for both of you, is if you could offer one piece of advice, whatever context you want, what one piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't stop. keep living your dream. Keep going for your dream.
Thinking about tomorrow.
You said that,
Don't
and
stop thinking about tomorrow.
Or it's believing. I was gonna say I went believing. In my head, I was like, "Don't stop believing." Do do do. Like the soundtrack just went into my head. But that said, don't stop doing what you're doing, or let's say more on that.
Yeah,
what does
well,
that mean?
Steve just turned 50. He can kick and stretch.
I'm kicking. I'm stretching. I'm kicking.
And we're still doing it. I mean, we're still doing this, we're making a living being musicians. So just don't give up on your dreams. Just because things are difficult or are tough at times, keep doing what you love. Just don't ever stop.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
And to add on to that, do what it is you love to do. I think being in bands a long time ago, we were always sort of like, okay, so what's a genre that we should, do? I mean,
right.
We were always trying to figure out like kind of where to be or where to fit. And eventually we're like, you know what? We're just going to do what we love to do and just let the songs come out. And whatever songs come out, that's what we got. And if it's a country song or if it's a funk song, hey, it's still us.
Yeah.
And we don't feel like we have to make it this or that because that never really worked for us.
Well, I mean,
It's
why
eclectic.
Pigeonhole ourselves?
Yeah.
Record companies do that to artists all the time, so we
Yeah.
don't really have to do
Oh,
that.
yeah. I
don't
mean,
have to do
it's
Play
like,
anything we want.
it's like,
That's
look,
true.
I'm not old, I'm not young and I'm not skinny, so I can do whatever the hell I want. I mean, really, it's like, who am I trying to impress at this
There
point?
we go.
I'm just going to play
God,
music
I
and
love
have
it.
fun.
Exactly.
And all right, so the two things happening is Friday, December 21st at Villain and Saint. Check, we got the whole families together for the Sidleys show. And then also one more time, if they want to follow the Sidleys and all the stuff you guys have going on, where do they go?
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram. We're all over, Twitter.
Bands in town.
Bands in town. We're all over the social media, and our website at the Sidleys, SID as in door, LEYS.com.
There you go.
Our whole schedule and you
Yeah,
can listen to music.
everything's on
and-
there.
All the
and-
details.
And on our social media, we tend to do every few weeks, we like to Facebook Live a brand new song we wrote. For
There
we call
you
it
go.
Friday Music Live. So, and it's even better
Friday
when it's
music.
songs we really don't know. I mean, we just wrote them to the point where,
Just nice.
and they're like, that's
It's like
kind of part
babies
of the
being
excitement.
born.
Last week we did one. We barely knew it.
Oh man. But there's something about the pressure of that. It's like, it's exciting. It's like, yeah, let's get on and,
Let's record this
Let's
thing
do
on
it.
video.
No fear.
There's evidence of how you screwed it up or how you nailed it. Whatever happens.
No fear or pride.
right.
We're not sure which
So
one it is.
good. All right. Now, let's get back to some music. And when you're a guest on the show, you got to bring great music with you. And the Sidleys definitely did. So who are we going to play first? What do you have for us first today?
One of my favorite people and favorite DC artists, Haley
Yeah.
Fahey.
Yeah.
She's opened for us a couple times.
Yeah. And what
And
song
the
is
song
that?
we're doing is Dry Ice.
Cool.
Dry Eyes.
Dry Ice.
DC Music rocks. Tune in, jam on, rock out.
Mama and Daddy weren't perfect by no means. Always shouting at each other and me. They stay together for their babies. Together since high school, since they were teens. She had a rough past that she kept inside. All the secrets that her mama said hide. She grew up way too fast, that's all we had to say. But she came back and helped her mom when she lost her daddy. Cold, dry eyes in the summertime, but it burns when you touch it. Nobody wanted to touch it, sticks to your fingers and then it burns to the core. No more dry eyes, dry eyes, dry eyes, dry that she kept inside. All the secrets that her mama said hide. She grew up way too fast, that's all we had to say. But she came back and helped her mom when she lost her daddy. Cold, dry eyes in the summertime, but it burns where you touch it. Nobody wanted to touch it, sticks to your fingers, and then it burns to the core. No more dry eyes. Dry eyes, dry eyes, dry eyes. Cold, dry eyes, dry eyes, dry eyes.
Haley Fahey, and the track is Dry Ice, and that's off her latest album Out There. And man, I'm such a Haley Fahey fan. Holy smokes. I mean, she was in the DC Music Rocks 930 Club Festival, the very first one a couple of years ago. And I mean, I'm stuttering because I'm so love what she does and her sounds. If you like Bonnie Raitt, Eva Cassidy, or the Zac Brown Band, that's the vibe. So I hope you check out more of her stuff. And then, of course, the big thing, if you want to see her next, December 28th, she's playing Pearl Street Warehouse down at the Wharf with Eli Lev for his new album release. And I just talked about that new album just came out. So that's going to be one heck of an event. So I hope you can make it out for that. But that said, talk about Haley, guys. I'm so glad you brought her on.
We met her when she was 16. We did a show at Out of the Way Cafe. John Troop had put together. I want to say it was the Durwood Christmas.
Could have been.
She was
so Durwood Christmas, what does that mean?
It's Christmas, but it's in Durwood, Maryland.
And where is Durwood, Maryland?
Explains itself.
Little outside of Rockville. It's between Rockville and Gaithersburg.
It's almost Rockville, almost Gaithersburg, but it's its own state of mind.
Yes, it certainly is.
I got it. And so a Durwood Christmas sounds like one of those funny, it's like my Red Ryder BB gun Christmas story, something. That's what when you say that, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Something out of the movies.
It sounds
something.
wholesome.
I love it. All right. So Durwood Christmas, that's where you first came across her? Or?
Yeah.
And we've just been seeing her and following her for many years. And then over the last few years, we played a lot of shows together, and Annie has,
I've given her some voice lessons, so I've worked with her.
Very good. Well, they've paid off. Thank you for whatever you've contributed.
She was wonderful before, and it just kind of, fine-tuned it, that's all.
Seriously.
Yeah, she's great.
I mean, I was just saying during the break that, like, man, when she gets up there, like, I don't know what happens, but somehow she's such a nice, wonderful, sweet person when you meet her, and she's so wonderful to be around, and then all of a sudden she gets in front of a microphone, and it's like somebody flips a switch, and this confidence caffeine boost kicks in, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness, Haley Fahey. Wow.
Yeah, that voice.
I need to sit down. This is, holy smokes.
Yeah.
I'm getting bowled over with this, just so good.
She's the real deal, man. Totally.
Yep, absolutely. So follow more from her and the cool things she's doing. And of course, December 28th at Pearl Street Warehouse. Check her and Eli Lev out because that one's going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I brought one more artist that I want to share that I've never shared on the show before. And so I just share new music with you all the time. And I love my job. It's kind of amazing. So this is Johnny and the Headhunters. And the track is called That's All I Need.
DC Music Rocks.
When I first met you, girl, you look so fine. I said, then, baby, wanna make you mine. Give me love. That's all I got plenty of money. Girl, you got the time. Can have it all, baby, if you will be mine. Give me love. That's all I need. That's all I need. I got a big house and a real fine car. I can come, baby, wherever you are. Give me love. That's all I need. That's all I need. Now you can go out, have a good time, but don't cry, baby, when I have mine. Give me love. That's all I need. That's all I need. I want your love. Gotta have your love. I need your love, babe. Gotta have that love. I want your love, babe. I need your love. Want your love. I want that love.
Johnny and the Headhunters, and the track is That's All I Need. And that's the title of the album as well. And man, really I've enjoyed discovering Johnny and the Headhunters. So recommend it if you like Eric Clapton or Stevie Ray Vaughan. You might like the vibe that these guys are laying down. And they've been around for quite a few years, and this guy, John Tickton is his name. And so that's Johnny of Johnny and the Headhunters, and from Bethesda. So your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Down the street. Yeah.
And I was going to
Go
say,
down
you
and
guys,
hang
so if
out
you
with
guys
them.
haven't hung out or played a show or something, you guys need to either come see, hopefully you guys check each other out because you're neighbors and
We
stuff.
are
So maybe
neighbors.
that whole Durwood Christmas thing, maybe he's been there and you didn't know, right?
Impossible. There's like 20 bands that play it.
I feel like if there's not already a Durwood Christmas movie, I feel like this is like one of those things where it's like you guys and Haley Fahey, and now we got Johnny, and there's all these characters, and maybe there's some Hollywood potential
But
here.
Johnny,
I
it's
don't
a Durwood Christmas. That's just a tagline right there. It writes itself. The
there
movie
you go.
writes itself.
See, there it is.
Johnny,
That
do
is-
you love me?
That is
Do you love me?
that's exactly it. Oh my gosh!
It's-
So
never
great
mind, Johnny,
blues,
it's Durwood.
blues, rockabilly, New Orleans funk, soul, roots music. That's what you're going to get with Johnny and the Headhunters. So I hope you check out more from them on all the platforms. And we've got time for one more song, but before we do, I want to take a minute and say thanks. Here's what I love. I love that you made it a family affair. Yeah. I love that you're still doing this thing after years of doing this thing. You're still doing it. Yeah. It's your day job. This music thing is just love. And I love that you got the kids involved. I think that is just so freaking cool. And so now it's the Sidleys and a Category 5 Sidley show.
Yeah.
That's right.
Coming up on the 21st. And of course, on breaks and whenever the kids are home, you can do various Sidley shows. It might be a Category 4 instead of a Category 5.
Right.
But that's still a hell of a hurricane. So yes, that would be good. So I hope that I hope if you're listening, I hope you check out more from the Sidleys, but also for you guys, I love that this is what you're doing, and thanks for making great music. This is awesome.
Thanks for having us, and we appreciate you listening and enjoying the music. That makes us feel happy when people it makes us feel good. That's what we want.
Thank you, Brian, for having us. We do
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
And one more time, if they want to find out what's happening with the Sidleys, where do they go?
TheSidleys.com, Facebook as well, Twitter.
Instagram, Bands in Town.
Yeah.
All the places.
Yeah.
All the places
And
you
check
might
it out.
find us.
This Friday, December 21st, Villain and Saint.
You got it. We'll see you there. And listeners, I play drums for the DC rock band Fellowcraft. And since I am a DC musician, it's such a treat to share these guests like the Sidleys and this great music from right here in Washington, DC with you each week. Remember, we have resources for you too. The community is offline. It's not just a podcast or a radio show. We'd love for you to come be a part of it. On DCMusicRocks.com, you have access to a database of more than 400 DC region artists to help you find more music you'll love. And we have a calendar to help you attend these great shows happening all over the DC area every week. So the bottom line is, I want to say thanks. Thanks for following DC's music. Thanks for supporting DC's musicians. And most importantly, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Now, next week or next couple ones, I've got a very special holiday episode that's going to be just for your ears only. That's the very best of that holiday playlist I talked about. Yeah. I'm going to play my absolute favorites from that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And I've also got the best of 2018. These are the songs I obsessed about in 2018. I had to narrow it down to just like enough for an episode. And it was fun, and it was also heartbreaking for me to like, oh, well, and you like vote somebody off the island. No, but that was good. So upcoming great things. Now we got time for one more, and this is Verano, which is an awesome jazz group, and I love these guys. Talk about these guys.
So we first met Lynn and Ken in this very studio.
Yes, right here, and I was sitting here. Oh, wait, I was sitting there,
and we didn't know each other, and then it was like we were best friends, and then we've played a few shows together since then, and we love them.
Yeah, I saw them at AMP last year,
up in Strathmore,
this past year, and they were so fantastic.
Yeah. It's wildly talented, these guys. And I mean, they've been in the game for a while. They've got a holiday album that I really enjoy. They're definitely, they do some of its covers, but then they have a lot of originals as well. Mm-hmm. And so this song, I remember in your email, you had mentioned to me something about how you love this particular song. Is it something special about this song,
I think
Annie,
this is an original. I believe it is.
Yeah, One Note Samba.
Well, One Note Samba is, it's definitely a standard. And this this whole album is, like a tribute to like jazz samba and like, Brazilian music. And so, I mean, this whole album just has that vibe. Just,
I always, when I describe this album, I'm like, it's like you're taking a bubble bath with champagne while you're watching James Bond.
Well, I'm on the beach.
That is, I hope they use that as a quote when they are describing Verano. It is, what did you say? It's like taking a bubble bath with champagne while watching James Bond. That ultimate quote right there. We can't top that. Let's just end there. What is this one? What is this one called?
This is One Note Samba.
DC Music Rocks.
This is just a little samba built upon a single note. Other notes are bound to follow, but the root is still that note. Now this new note is the consequence of the note we just been through. Cause I'm bound to be the unavoidable consequence of you. There's so many people who can talk and talk and talk and just say nothing, or nearly nothing. Up all the skills I know, and in the end I've come to nothing, or nearly nothing. Come back to my first note.
talking, just say nothing, only nothing. I have used up all the skills I know, and in the end I've come to nothing, only nothing. Come back to my first note, as I must come back to you. I will pour into that one note all the love I feel for you. Anyone who wants the whole show, play me fa sol la ti do. He will find himself with no show. You better play the note you know.
Thank you so much for listening to DC Music Rocks. Useful links and information about this episode can be found on the website dcmusicrocks.com. Tune in, jam on, rock out.